I think a lot of people have unanswered questions about their faith. It's not rare, right? A lot of people in your neighborhood do, some of your coworkers do, maybe people you even live with do. Some people in our community there's big questions about who Jesus is. And is he alive? And is he the way, the truth, and the life that he tells us that he is? Right? Maybe not even everyone watching this stream of this service is a believer, is a Christian. How can there be someone who's not a Christian in church? But there's people who are exploring their faith. Right? I'm not calling everyone a Judas. I'm not saying there's people there who's trying to betray us or betray God. I'm saying there's some Thomases likely. Right? Maybe even right here. People who have questions, who have doubts, who are confused. Maybe they're trying something new. Perhaps you grew out of your childlike faith of your youth, and you're trying to piece together an adult faith when you've experienced the brokenness and the heartbreak and the sin of the world, and trying to wonder, what does it mean to believe in a good God in the midst of hearing bad news, in the midst of being hurt yourself? Maybe you are watching because a friend shared this on their timeline, or maybe you thought, it would be good to have a household with morals. Maybe you're online because you think it builds good character for your kids. Maybe you're waiting for more proof. Maybe you need more evidence. Maybe you need to have an encounter with Jesus to clear up some things, because there's a lot of unanswered questions. God sees you. And God is not intimidated by your questions. God is not scared by your doubts. Thomas didn't believe that Jesus was alive. And he was honest about that. He told the other disciples about that. But he was still on that spiritual journey. He was still in relationship with those disciples that believed that Christ rose from the dead. They're still part of that community. He had questions, he had doubts, but he was still there with those disciples. A week later, even though they weren't on the same page of who Jesus was and what Jesus had done. I want you to know that you can be part of a community where people that have doubts are welcomed. Those people who have questions can find Jesus at work. Doubters are welcome, right? Just because you're here watching online doesn't mean that all your questions are addressed. Doesn't mean you're a hypocrite because you have some other things that you're trying to figure out. The doubts become an issue when they become a wedge, when they become a wall from us being connected. Thomas had his doubts, had his questions, but he didn't let that become a hindrance from him in gathering and praying and being with those people who believe. Right? Sometimes if your doubts might be a hindrance to keep you out of church, to keep you from seeking God, to keep you from reading the Bible. If you have doubts and questions, you're in the right place.